Madam President, thank you for this interview. 50 years of diplomatic relations between the Holy See and the European Union. How are the relations between the Vatican and the EU today?
The relations between the Holy See, the Vatican and the European Union are excellent. And 50 years, this shows how much we are like-minded. It's basically, the good cooperation is basically based on sharing the same values. Working for peace, for the solidarity, for the dignity of the human being. These are shared values and more of them. And of course we are following very closely the grand topic of the Vatican, the globalization of solidarity, very close to our hearts. And we are very grateful for the interest of the Vatican in our conference on the future of Europe. So just a few topics that show how intense and how good the relations are.
We are living in a very difficult time today with the pandemic. The European Union supports the Holy Father's appeals regarding the spread of vaccine through COVAX. How will the EU Commission continue its efforts to tackle the global health crisis?
Yes, we all know that nobody will be safe until everybody is safe, and all people must have access to affordable and safe and effective vaccines. And there are different routes you can choose. So the European Union, through all the difficulties we had in securing vaccines, stood to the principle that half of the European production is going to other countries. It's 90 different countries where European production is going to. That is one part. Of course, the second part is of utmost importance, COVAX. The European Union is one of the largest founder of COVAX. And indeed, yesterday we had a G20 summit where Team Europe pledged 100 million doses for COVAX. This is so important to pledge now doses in kind because the scarcity of the vaccines all over the place. But we had another success yesterday. Our industrial partners, BioNTech, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson and Moderna, committed to deliver this year 1.3 billion doses of vaccines, specifically for low-income countries as a non-profit and for middle-income countries to lower costs. Now, these are three routes: export, donations, and the industrial partners. On top comes a fourth topic, which is dear to my heart. Team Europe is now working together with our African partners to build up manufacturing capacities in Africa itself. This is not for the short term, but it's for the medium and long term. So we come with the technologies, with industrial partners, massive investment, but it's about also skilling personnel so that in the medium term, Africa is independent to produce its own vaccines.
For Pope Francis, one of the most important current challenges is also the environmental issue. As he writes in his encyclical Laudato Si, I read, "It is an urgent challenge to protect our common home." How can and should Europe act in the search for sustainable and integral development? Because we know that things can change very soon.
Yeah, I'm deeply grateful for Laudato Si and the positive push it gave. So this overall call for protecting our planet, our nature, and the climate. And the European Union was committed from the very beginning on. In my mandate, the first and most important topic I placed is the European Green Deal. The European Union will be the first continent to be climate neutral in 2050. And we have now the first ever European climate law. That is, we have not only goals, but put in law, we now step by step show how we want to reach climate neutrality and the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions till 2030. And it's a huge task, but first of all, if we would not act, the consequences would be horrible. We sense already what it means to have climate change. But it's also, in a broader sense, our responsibility for our children and grandchildren. If they want to have nature, if we want them to experience spring, summer, fall and winter as we had it, we urgently have to act now. And therefore, the European Union is bringing its share. We're also working hard to bring the world along. And I'm glad to see that now South Korea, South Africa, Japan, China, and the United States all have defined goals when to reach climate neutrality and move forward. So the Laudato Si has really been a wake-up call.
Thank you very much for this interview. Thank you.